So over the past few days, I've been fortunate enough to play with the real Godzilla and help him push for Emperor. It's been a real lot of fun, and it's also allowed me to ask myself the question. It's an old question I had. Um, do internet builds actually work? In my time playing ESO, I've met quite a few newer players that have no idea what they're doing or why they're running this particular set in this particular order or why this skill and this set work so well together. And that's where the thought comes from of, do internet builds actually work? The answer to that question is subjective to who the player is, I think. As a newer player with very little experience who's just getting into ESO, just got the game and has been playing it for about a month or so, is overwhelmed by all the sets in the game, has no idea what they want to run, how they want to run it, and they're a bit confused, so they take to the internet to have that question answered, looking up a build guide on, say a Magswork or whatever. And they come across a video that's like a trial build or whatever. Because on YouTube I see a bunch of thumbnails that show the DPS number on the thumbnail, and let's just say this new player clicks on said video with like 145k DPS, if that's even possible. And right off the bat, I can say that I know this new player that's looking into this build video is not going to be able to perform that build, whatever the requirement is. They just don't have enough time and experience into ESO. So even if the new player has access to all the gear sets and the skills mentioned in the video, they're not going to understand why the build video is saying to use these sets and these abilities on this bar and in this way. Does that mean build videos and internet guides don't help? No, they definitely help in some way. The issue is not understanding fully why the sets and the skills are being used. Being a newer player, in my mindset, at least when I was newer, this was back in 2016, but I remember it pretty well, was, oh, I'm a new player, I'll just get better with what I have, and I'm not going to have to upgrade any of my stuff. I'll just keep this same build and keep rolling with it, try and understand it a little better. That is definitely not the case, as if the example of me uploading a build video and then a week after, ZOS decides they want to go ahead and get on to the next PTS, meaning they're going to change the game. And mind you, this new update is completely gutting the build I uploaded, so it's not even going to be relevant next patch. And someone who's a bit newer to ESO is not going to understand that. So these updates to their build that they're sticking with and trying to get better at, they're going to be quiet. They're going to be silent updates to the build for them. And in that case, no, build guides don't work, because the build will be changed by the next patch, and the player using the old build is not aware that these changes have occurred. But again, that's just the case. In that case, the build guides wouldn't work. If you have any experience making a build, then you know building is all about fine-tuning a build and making it as viable for you as you can. A lot of people forget that they're in control of their builds, and that's the most important thing. You're not playing someone else's build, you're playing your build, your character, your class, whatever. And so does that mean build videos and guides become irrelevant at that point? No, it doesn't. It's how you use the build video, I think, is very important. Like, take for example the build I'm running here in this gameplay. I'm using a build that the real Godzilla uploaded a while back. Since I've been running with him in Cyrodiil, helping him trying to get Emperor. His build looked really fun, so I wanted to look in and try it. And I'm not running his exact spec. Here I've actually tuned it to my liking, to how I want to play it. I've changed things up. For some reason he likes Lava Foot. I really like the triple trifle pocket. That's where we're at a bit of a different spot, but yeah, running just a few things different here. If anything, I use build videos as reference points. In a sense, yes, guides and outlines of, okay, so this works for this player, and what's not said is you shouldn't be afraid to tweak your build and change it and tune it to your liking. I think that's an issue. I remember fondly the video I saw that really made me aware of what builds are and how they work is watching one of Kev Dewitt's older videos. It's old now, at least. It was new in I was playing, but he said, don't be afraid to open your character sheet and see this. And there's 64 points in his stamina right there. That is something, like, just an example of don't be afraid to change your build to do that. Like, now I'm putting all my points into health so I can actually survive in PvP, but that's PvP. For a build video to actually work, it needs to be relevant. You're not going to go and look up a build video from 2018 on this new update of Waking Flame. You're not going to go back in time and watch those older build videos because those builds do not work in the time period we're in now. Way back yonder, procs weren't as they just weren't as effective as they are now, especially with all the new scaling. But that's just an example of build videos working and sometimes they're not working. Like, mag sorks are kind of outside the meta for PvP, so like you can still run what is it, spinners, and well, now you can run crafty Alfiq with it too. Used to be spinners and Julianus, what I always run with Engine Guardian, but those builds, they're still consistent. They still work. Sure, you could run older builds from older build videos, but they're going to be nowhere near as effective as the new tune stuff, as in, like, build videos that came out this year in this update. They're not even going to be close in comparison. Like, take Deadly, for example. It's getting nerfed again. It was 20%, now it's 18, it's going to be 15%. Yet it's still relevant. It's probably still the best set for Templar overall, but that could change next patch since it's getting put to 15%. You could use other AoE damage sets if you're going to be spamming jabs. So Deadly may not show up anymore in build videos and build guides. So newer players looking up build guides and stuff wouldn't even know Deadly exists because it's not in the build that they're looking at. But yeah, I could say to understand if build videos work that you'd have to understand how build videos work, which would just be in summary, is it relevant, as I said, but I think I've said my piece for a little bit. I guess let me know what you think in the comments. Anything you want to say at all, go ahead and put it down there. I'll get to it eventually. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you're still watching, you're pretty legendary. And guess I hope to see you in this game. Unless you're not on PS4 or PS5, whatever. Okay, bye.